The Addams Family 2. Honestly, the first Addams Family I thought was okay. It had its flaws, and I didn't really think it was a really good kids movie. It was okay. Will my thoughts of Addams Family 2 change, or do I think that this film is worse than the first film? Find out my thoughts next. Hello and welcome to my channel. This is Reviews with Ryan. Today I'm going to be talking about The Addams Family 2. This is directed by Greg Tiernan and Conrad Vernon. They both directed the first film. The film stars Charlize Theron, Oscar Isaac, Chloe Grace Moretz, and Nick Kroll. And you can note in this film that Finn Wolfhard, he played Pugsley in the first film. He does not reprise his role in this film. He is replaced by Javon Walton due to his voice changing. So that is the only main character that changes voices in this film. The film is basically about the Addams family going on vacation in this RV, and they basically aren't having their kids around, and they basically decide to go on this vacation. There is a subplot where there is doubt that Wednesday Addams is their child, and there is the villains involved. There is a couple villains in this film involved, and that is pretty much the really general plot of this film. Now, I'll start off by saying that the animation in this film is better than the first film. It feels like the animation gives the film a little bit more energy. However, the jokes and the humor in this film, it really is a little stale and it doesn't land right with me. I felt that throughout the film, with the fact that they're being on vacation, they really could have done a lot with this film with jokes. And in this film, Wednesday Addams is pretty much the main character throughout the film. They really have a lot of focus on her. The parents, they take a back seat in this. And Pugsley and Uncle Fester, they pretty much are the people that are the jokes and the gags of this film. And really, their jokes are not really funny. So it really makes their characters feel a little bit out of place in the film because they're really not hitting the jokes throughout the film. I found it interesting that this film was greenlit during the first film. It actually was greenlit the first week that the film came out. The first film actually made a lot of money. It only had a budget of $25 million and it made over $200 million. And the film would have came out earlier if it wasn't for the pandemic. And it was just interesting to me that they kind of rushed this film. I felt that they didn't do a good job of writing this film. And the film, really, to me, it just doesn't seem like a theater film. It seems like this would be kind of a film that would be thrown on Netflix and just kind of a sequel that kind of pops up on Netflix and you check it out because you've seen the first film. And really, the first film, even though it made money, it didn't really have the best reviews. So it's interesting to see what direction they did with this film because honestly, this is worse than the first film for me. I just felt that there were so many problems with this film. The villain in this, he doesn't really have really good motivations. They don't really explain his motivations very well. And honestly, it's somewhat confusing what his motivations are. And going into the last act, it was very eye-rolling for me. I just was sitting there going, really, this is what the ending is going to be, and this is really what the villain is doing. It was just kind of not something that really interests me, and I don't even know if kids really love this movie at all. I just felt that they just didn't do enough to really interest me as a viewer to even enjoy this movie. There's also a part where they're in a bar and Lurch sings this classic song of I Will Survive, and honestly, it was really, really just... When I got to that part, I was just like, what is going on with the writing and the direction of this film? I felt like I kind of wanted to walk out a little bit in a way. I just really just didn't like that part. I don't know why they had Lurch singing I Will Survive. I didn't like it at all. And really the big reveal for Wednesday Addams and her little subplot that I mentioned earlier on in my review, it's just really not that... to me, it's just not that convincing, and I just really just couldn't get behind this story. Honestly, if you watch this film, I'm really interested to see what people think of the ending of this film and what they think of the villains. I just thought that they really just didn't bring much to the film. I just thought the story as a whole was just not written very well, and if they do a third one, which I don't know if they will, but if they do, I just hope they look back at least some of the elements of the first film, take the animation that they did in the second film, and just make this a little bit more of a reviving series, because honestly, they have made a mess of this second film. I just did not like this film at all. I'm going to give the film a 1.5 out of 5. It's pretty bad, and I'm usually pretty lenient with kids' movies, but I just did not enjoy this at all. I felt really bored, and I feel like the kids will be pretty bored with this too. There's really not anything to laugh about in this film. Like, comment, subscribe, and let me know what you guys think of this film. Thank you guys for watching this review, and I'll see you guys in my next review. Bye-bye!